UK, we've got approximately 300,000 travellers and approximately 250,000 Romani people. And a lot of these people, like, they don't actually fill in the censuses and join in with them, so it's potentially a lot more than that as well. In the 1300s, the first Romani person was sold into slavery, officially on record. That went on into the 18th century. That didn't stop until then. That happened all over Europe and a lot of different places in the world. Romani people all over Europe were subject to, like, sterilisation. They were branded, murdered. They were enslaved, as I've said, like forced labour. Ethnic cleansing in a lot of different places, and abduction of the children. All of this stuff went on up until the 18th century all around Europe. Women actually in a lot of different countries would have either their ears or their breasts cut off to mark them as Romani people. In the 17th century at some point there was something called the heathen hunt, which was in Holland, where they basically went around just slaughtering every single Romani person they could find, or anyone who was a nomadic traveller. And then the first thing I want to talk about in terms of like where things have actually made a difference is the Great Gypsy Roundup. So that was in 1947. That was in Spain, where it was basically made a law that all Romani people could be enslaved essentially and forced to just work for the country. That went on for, I think it was about 40 years or something like that. And the reason that stopped was because of protest. The reason why that ended, the reason why all these people became free, was because communities, Romani communities, other communities that lived there, they protested and they stood up against it and they said, you know, fuck it shouldn't be going on. And it stopped going on. And then what I wanted to say about as well, is May the 16th is Romani Resistance Day. And it's been made Romani Resistance Day because in 1944, so as I was saying about, sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. So as I was saying about the stuff that happened in Europe, basically in the end, because of all this this oppression, they decided to move east towards Poland, where they were treated a little bit fairer, and then of course the Nazis came. And the Nazis, I mean, it's not actually even known how many Romani people were killed. It's estimated that it could be anywhere up to 1.5 million. It's not something that you hear about that often when you talk about the Second World War either. And there was a resistance on May the 16th, 1944, where 600 Romani people who were held captive in a concentration camp were told they were going to be murdered, and these 600 people barricaded themselves inside of the rooms that they were in. They armed themselves with pickaxes and hammers, and they basically said, you know, the same thing as before. They said, fuck you, you can't do this. And 300 of them got a second chance. 300 of them were moved on to a different concentration camp, and another 300 of them were gassed and killed. But this resistance, like, these are not people, like my family are not people who will allow themselves to be walked all over, just the same as all the minorities in this country who are being persecuted by these fucking people, our LGBTQ communities, our black communities, all these minorities, these mixed ethnicities, everyone. We've been walked all over. We've had people taking the piss out of us for too long, and it does work. When you say no, when we stand here and we come together as communities and we say no, that is how it ends. That is how it ends, and we have to keep coming. Like, you know, with them sitting, I know they're gone now, but sitting right there, like, how soul can we be? We are being intimidated, and we are being taught that we cannot come together, and we cannot protect ourselves, and we can protect ourselves, and we can protect each other, and we owe that to each other to keep coming here and to keep protesting and to keep this resistance up. So it's amazing to see you all here, and thank you.